sitting by my side. Saturday night at the movies. Who cares what picture you see? When you're
Welcome back to Breakfast Television. Now in its 13th year, the Gimli Film Festival is once again set to bring 5 days of film to the Interlake. This year's festival features films that touch on relationships and music. And joining us with a preview is feature film programmer Joy Lowen and Manitoba filmmaker Charles Conowall. Thanks so much to both of you for being here.
A pleasure.
Let's talk a little bit about this festival. It is such a cool thing. You've been doing some programming with the festival for years now, and what's special about this year?
We've got just a really solid slate of films from Manitoba, Canada, and international that I'm just excited to show.
And one that's really cool that's been standing out, it's a premiere, it's called The Life and Crimes of Doris Payne. Now this is a very interesting woman who has made a life out of being a jewel thief.
Yeah, 80 years old. She is someone that you would never expect to read about in a book, but here she is live on film, documented for us to see in Gimli.
What do you think people are going to be most interested about when they come to potentially see this film?
Well, film sparks different ideas and introduces you to stories that you've never heard of. And an 80-year-old jewel thief, like where would you ever have seen or heard of that?
And she's a very interesting character as a person as well, where you know she's a criminal, but at the same time you're fascinated by her.
You can't help but not like her, right? And the thing is that you don't know really, is she a jewel thief? Has she stolen these diamonds?
Or is she just a nice grandma?
Is she worthy of going to prison?
That's right. Very cool. And another great thing about this festival, Charles, of course, is local screenings are going to be happening as well. And your documentary, Chasing a Song, is one of them. I want to show people a little sneak peek of Chasing a Song. Let's throw to the clip.
I think Leonard Cohen said it best. If I knew where it came from, I'd be going there all the time. I think that's probably true with almost any songwriter you'd ask that question to. It's a part of the magic, you know, that keeps you coming back. For me, once I felt it once, I was addicted.
Do I think it's an outlet for Scott? Absolutely. Music was huge to Scott in his life. I think that Scott, although he had his share of difficult times, I think he would have been in a whole lot more trouble had it not been for music.
you rock, we roll.
That is one of my favorite Scott Nolan songs also. Let's talk a little bit about this documentary. Lots of people are music lovers, and music is a big part of some of the screenings at the festival this year. Why songwriting? Why did you want to explore that avenue of music?
Well, I had done a film a few years ago about poetry, and I found that, you know, when I met Scott, he was such a great storyteller that I thought, well, you know, this would be an interesting subject, and his process was something that kind of intrigued me. And he's just one of those musicians that actually doesn't have a day job. He actually does it for a living, and that sort of intrigued me. And well, I don't know, he just was a great guy to work with, you know.
He's a very charismatic man, local singer-songwriter, and also featured in the film you're going to recognize Big Dave McLean, as well as Jesse DiNatale, who's been on Breakfast Television before. Some really great songwriters that you've managed to capture in your film.
Right, yeah. And all good friends of Scott's.
That's right.
You know, and that was really how it all happened. Scott just kind of opened up his, you know, his notebook and introduced me to all his friends, and it was a great experience.
Definitely check it out. One of the local docs that are going to be screened at the festival. That one's happening Thursday out in Gimli, where they are all being screened because it is the Gimli Film Festival. And we were talking about how music is a bit of a theme. The Sheepdogs Have At It is one that's going to be showing. Yeah. They've been big since the cover of the Rolling Stone. And also Muscle Shoals is a really interesting film about this tiny little town in Alabama with a great musical history.
Yeah, and it parallels the Gimli context for me. So I'm very excited to be showing again a film that won't have been seen in Manitoba before it hits the beach on Gimli, and it'll have music and people in it that you know, you may have heard of before, but never in this context.
Very cool. Etta James, Mick Jagger, lots of people have musical history from this tiny little town. And the Gimli Film Festival continues all the way from Wednesday till Sunday out in the Interlake. Thanks so much to both of you for being here.
It's a pleasure, Jenna.
Thanks.
We're taking a break on BT. Stay with us.
Everything you can think so do.
BT is brought to you in part by Tropicana Pure Premium. Try new orange and mango.